everyone, and welcome to the 2-week hurdle. And I know what you're thinking, it's not payday. This actually is a new series that I'm starting, which is not going to be every month, but it could be, if I get the time, every 2 weeks of the month. So, you're halfway to payday, you're getting there. And it's just going to be about anything that I feel like talking about. It's not always going to necessarily be both myself and Matt. And I completely realised that in our first episode, we never even introduced ourselves. We were having a big chat, and the whole point of our show is to just kind of make it feel like you're having a sit-down chat with us. And we messed up, and we forgot to say our names. So let me introduce the show and us. So first of all, I'm Tom, and my friend Matt is the other guy that was recording with us, and we are both just huge Pokemon fans, and we have been for as long as we can remember. We're both best friends. We've been friends all our lives, so about 25 years now we've known each other, and we just thought, why not sit down and just do a podcast and talk about Pokemon, because we all love Pokemon. And I know there's a lot of people out there that want to hear, just anything about Pokemon from anyone, because I'm one of those people myself. So the whole concept of Payday was just to celebrate Pokemon once a month, because life's difficult when you get older. You haven't got a lot of time to do things, but once a month, that's a low commitment. I can do that, and it means that I get a chance to do things, have time to prep. I have a whole month to plan a show, and I can make it a good show, hopefully. But I also like the idea of doing this series also called the 2-week hurdle, and the 2-week hurdle is just going to be an episode where maybe I'll have a guest, or maybe I'll just do this by myself like I am today. But I'll just be talking about any aspect of Pokemon that I feel like. And this week, I'm just going to be talking about Pokemon Let's Go before it comes out, because this is going to be coming out a week before Let's Go comes out exactly. So I get to do a little bit of speculation. I am recording this on the 29th of October, so I'm recording a bit earlier than I probably will next time, but I just wanted to get this done so I could get one of these out. So there's probably going to be a lot of news that comes in the between here and then when this show drops. So all of this could just be worthless by the time it comes out, but we'll see. And to go back to the original show, Pokemon Payday, the whole point of that is just, like I said, us celebrating, but also we want to talk about what we spend our money on as well, because we want to be able to review things that we buy. We want to talk about how expensive or how cheap some Pokemon things are. And yeah, it's pretty cool. I've been planning, I write down everything, and I'm going to start writing down how much money I spend as well. And it's probably going to make me very aware of how much I'm spending. So expect that to sort of rise and fall over the months. But so far, so good. One thing I did buy recently is an Eevee plush. I bought a 30 centimeter Eevee plush because I wanted to support my Eevee fandom before the game came out. So I've got a plush on the way. That cost me £12. So I don't know how much that is in dollars. Probably about $17. So it's not too expensive, I guess. It's kind of cool. It looks nice as well. So I'm excited to get that. That's a little sneak peek of what I've spent my money on this payday. But you'll see in 2 weeks' time exactly what I spent my money on, as well as our thoughts on Pokemon Let's Go. And guys, I'm spending a lot of money on Pokemon Let's Go. I've also got a lot of extra things I put on my Christmas list. So that's going to be fun. But let's get into Let's Go discussion. So specifically today, I'm going to be talking about the team building aspects that I'm excited about, and also Pokemon that I speculate will be rideable that we haven't actually seen yet. So, we'll start with the rideable Pokemon because that's probably the shortest segment. And to be honest, you never know. I'm going to include some of the ones you can surf on. I don't know if surfing in the overworld is going to show the Pokemon, you're riding on them, but actually, they got rid of that, didn't they? But there was a screenshot of someone on a Lapras, so it could go either way, I guess. For the most part, it looks like you travel around on that surfboard, but who knows? We'll see. Maybe we can ride around on our Pokemon on the water still anyway, because I'd like that option. It shouldn't have to just be the surfboard or a Lapras, so we'll see. But I'm going to just speculate that all water-type Pokemon you can surf on in some aspect, or one way or another, but whether or not we'll actually see the Pokemon and you riding them or whatever, I don't know how you'd ride a Squirtle, for example, other than just holding onto it like some sort of buoyancy float, but we'll see. In terms of rideable Pokemon, though, I imagine Pidgeot you're going to be able to ride. I'm just going through a Pokedex as we go, and I'm just going to talk it through. Pidgeot is like the big one. Do you remember that episode of the anime where Ash is riding on one? And I could just see that being, like a really big thing, because people that remember the anime are going to remember that episode just like me. And they're going to be expecting that. So I think Pidgeot is a pretty likely ride Pokemon for sure. I also think, in going off of that as well, Fearow would be the exact same, because Fearow is just so cool. I really want to ride a Fearow. I think I'm going to try and run a Fearow on my team at some point. I mean, I'm going to use all the Pokemon in Let's Go, I think, one way or another, because of this Master Trainer thing they've added. But I think I will use a Fearow for the most part. I'm not planning on really using Pidgeot, but it'd be cool to ride around on a Fearow, because he's not really well known enough. I think it kind of... He's someone that is one of those Pokemon that just gets overshadowed by Pidgeot. He doesn't have 3 stages of evolution. He's not as strong, I don't think. Although he probably is in his own way, so we'll see what happens when it comes out. Golbat would be hilarious, but I can't see it happening, to be honest. I mean, how would you even ride that thing? Do you put your feet on his feet and then hold onto his head? I mean, it'd be really funny to see if you could ride around on a Golbat, but personally, I don't see it happening. We've also got Arcanine. We've seen Arcanine already. You do ride around on Arcanine. Same with Charizard and things like that. You ride around on Arcanine. It's a no-brainer. It's super cool. I don't think I'm getting the version with Arcanine. I think Let's Go Eevee comes with Vulpix instead of Arcanine, so I'm not going to be using Arcanine, which is a shame. But to be honest, he's not my favourite Pokemon. Matt and my girlfriend Freya are both going to be getting Let's Go Pikachu, so I'm sure I can get one. And I think I'm getting my own copy of Let's Go Pikachu as well, so it's not the end of that story. We'll see what happens. Machamp would be hilarious, just based on the ride Pokemon from Pokemon Sun and Moon. I could see that being definitely a feature there. Would be funny, but I can't see it being added, to be honest. I think people would rather just walk around with a Machamp following them than be carried in the arms of a Machamp. It seems a bit funny and a bit strange, but we'll see. Rapidash, they better make you ride a Rapidash. I mean, I know the fire's there, but they wouldn't have put it in the anime if it wasn't possible, right? So we'll see. They might be riding around on them. I would be very happy to see riding around on a Rapidash is a thing, because I'd love to do that. I think it'd be really cool. He's kind of like an iconic ride Pokemon. He's a horse for a start. I mean, riding around on a horse would be super cool anyway. Going on as well, we got Dodrio. Dodrio would be really cool to ride around on, because he's just cool. I've seen the footage already of someone riding a Dodrio, and yeah, it made me really happy, because I didn't even consider Dodrio before then, and it just makes sense. He's so cool. I love Dodrio. He's one of those Pokemon a bit like Fearow as well. He's just so easily forgotten about. He's just really cool. He's got a really cool design, and he's perfect to ride around on, to be honest. That body's just big enough, and you've got the 3 heads just sort of going, bobbing along while you're running. Just be really hilarious to see. Onix is a obvious one. We've seen that already. I mean, it's really cool. I love how you sit on top of Onix and you just, ride around. I mean, it's the perfect way to go. I mean, I don't know how much faster it would be. It probably looks like it'd be quite a slow way of moving around, but it's quite funny. I'm not really planning on using Onix, but I like the idea of it, if you know what I mean. I'm really sad they didn't put Electrode riding a thing. I like how it follows you behind you, but I'd love to see the trainer sort of struggling to stay on top of it, standing on it and trying to control it while it's rolling. And it just would have been really funny to see. It's a bit of a wild one, but I'd love to see Alolan Executor be a ride Pokemon. I think, it's such a tall Pokemon. It'd be the same, akin to Onix. You could sit on top of it at the top and you could just ride around. I'm not necessarily expecting it to be fast, but how cool would that be? I think that's definitely something they should do, although I'm not expecting it per se. Rhyhorn and Rhydon. I mean, they did Rhyhorn racing in Pokemon X and Y, didn't they? And you rode around on a Rhyhorn at one point. I'm not sure if you'll have Rhydon following you, or be able to ride a Rhydon. I think he'll follow you more than anything, but Rhyhorn would be cool. Who else have we got? I don't think Cypher. I don't think that's the case at all. I think he's too small. I don't think he's strong enough. I mean, it'd be nice to see, but I'm not expecting it, if you know what I mean. For sure, though, Tauros and Gyarados, those two have got to be ride Pokemon, right? I mean, I'd love to ride on the back of a Gyarados. I mean, that looks so cool, riding around in the overworld on a Gyarados. Tauros is a no-brainer. You have to be able to ride a Tauros. They did that in Sun and Moon, and they've already, if they've done that already, why couldn't they do it again? Aerodactyl. Aerodactyl would be awesome. I'm really excited about riding around one of those because it looks so cool, and you don't see a lot of Aerodactyl, especially in the overworld. I don't think we've ever seen Aerodactyl in the overworld before, so imagine being able to just sit on the back of that and fly around the overworld. It would look amazing. And I saw, in a trailer, I swear I saw the legendary birds following you. You don't ride around on the legendary birds, which is disappointing to say the least, because I'm a big fan of Articuno, and I would have loved to have ridden around on Articuno. I used to be in this camp where I didn't want I didn't want to use legendaries on my team, and now I still kind of think that, but I'll allow some of them, some of the lower level ones. Like, I don't consider the legendary birds, for example, to be so rare and legendary anymore. I think they're just like in the Pokemon world, they're a rare breed, but they're not unique. There's not only one of them, so they're fair game if you ask me. But yeah, and in that bit of footage I saw, you weren't riding around on it, you were running and they were following. So I mean, it's not the end of the world, but I'd love to have ridden around on an Articuno through the world. I think that would have been really nice. It would have been a nice touch. We've already seen that you can ride Dragonite as well. Dragonite obviously has to happen. It looks so good as well. I love the animation of just this pudgy little dragon flying around with his little wings, but you've got someone sitting on the back of him. So yeah, the ride Pokemon are really cool. I like the idea of them a lot. I'm hoping that all the big Pokemon we can ride around on, because how cool would that be? I mean, that just takes it an extra step. Heart Gold and Soul Silver are really cool games because they have Pokemon following you, and now they've just stepped it up a notch. All the Pokemon look amazing. They're not just little sprites anymore. They're actual animated models, and some of them you can ride on, which is just too good to be true. I need that in my life. So I'm hoping that they put lots of them in there and that they have lots of different ways to make all the Pokemon unique in their own way. So I guess we'll have to see. But moving on to the team building segment, I just want to talk about a few Pokemon that I'm considering running on my team, and talk about maybe some strategies that could make them decent as well. So I'm starting off with Let's Go Eevee. So I'm going to be picking Eevee. Eevee is already the Eevee and the Pikachu from Let's Go have already been proven to be pretty decent because they've got better moves, they've got better stats, they're overall better than the traditional Eevee and Pikachu. And Eevee's got some really good moves. He has a fire move, a water move, and an electric move as well. And I saw as well in one video that he has access to double kick, which be really cool early on as well, especially against Brock. I'm not sure if it's really that necessary later on in the game, because I can't think of any types that aren't covered already by the water, fire, and electric type moves that he has. But I mean, the access to something like quick attack, or maybe a double edge or something like that, just something more normal type coverage. Return would be perfect actually, because it's your starter Pokemon. It's going to have high friendship. Well, I don't know. I mean, we still know so much, or so little about this game. So I mean, we can't really speculate on too much yet. But Eevee is 100% going to be on that team, of course. So I've actually separated all the other Pokemon into type categories. I'm just going to sort of briefly run through some of these, and I'll talk about a couple of movesets on a couple of the ones that I'm more tempted with. But my type lists are water, normal, flying, grass, fighting, electric, fire, poison, ground, dark, fairy, ghost, psychic, and steel. So pretty much all the types, or at least some of the main ones. And we'll work our way through them. So top of my list for water, if and I really hope this is a case, if we can add Pokemon with hats or accessories from Pokemon Go into Pokemon Let's Go, 100% I'm going for that Sunglasses Squirtle. I need that Squirtle Squad Squirtle in my life following me around with my Eevee. So he's definitely going to be on the list. I'm not like a big competitive player. I like playing Pokemon I like a lot. In fact, a couple of years ago, I played through Pokemon Moon with a Pikachu and an Eevee on my team. I didn't even know these games were going to ever exist. But I wanted to run a Pikachu and an Eevee. I didn't evolve either of them, and I just let them be themselves all the way through the game, right up to the end, and loved it. So, I mean, I'm not someone that really minds not evolving my Pokemon. For the most part, I will evolve my Pokemon, but the idea of a Sunglasses Squirtle instead of a Sunglasses Blastoise is just too good to pass. So for my anime nostalgia, I'm going to go for Sunglasses Squirtle. But if that isn't the case, my runners-up are Golduck, Poliwrath, Tentacruel, Slowbro, Dugong, Kingler, and Seadra. A few of these Pokemon are just Pokemon I've never used before, such as Golduck, Dugong, and Seadra. I've never used those Pokemon, so they're high up on my list as just sort of experimenting with Pokemon I like to see which ones, like the ones I haven't used before, and see how good they really are and what makes them stand out. I love Slowbro. If I can get a shiny Slowpoke, I'm definitely going for a shiny Slowbro because I love that blue colour that it's got. So that's going to be straight away at the top of my list. But if I had to pick one of these Pokemon other than my Sunglasses Squirtle, I think at the moment I'm sort of, I mean, it's difficult. I can't decide which one I would go for. I think I'm just going to see what shows up and what I like the look of when I get there. But I think Poliwrath would be cool because I'm pretty sure Poliwrath has a pretty broken moveset. I'm not sure if his ability makes any difference to it, but he's got 2 moves which make him... Oh, there you go. Oh, I opened the decks and you hear the... yeah, you can hear the animation sound. I love it. So his effects are Water Absorb, Damp, and Swift Swim, so it isn't anything to do with those. He knows Mind Reader, that's the one. The Mind Reader makes the next attack not miss, and he also knows Fissure. I mean, I don't know if they're going to still put Fissure in Let's Go after you beat Giovanni, but imagine being able to use those 2. That's just so broken. So Poliwrath would be amazing. But I think Seadra would be a really cool Pokemon to go for because I never used it in Gen 1, and then Gen 2 came out and we had Kingdra, so Seadra's never been in any sort of limelight for me, so I kind of feel bad. I want to use the Seadra, so we'll see what happens. Moving on to normal, my 3 Pokemon, because I'm probably going to include one of these as well as Eevee. I've got Raticate, Meowth, and Ditto. So Ditto is probably more of a funny one. I think I'll go through the story with a Ditto, but not in my overall end team. I think it would just be quite a cool little Pokemon to have following you around and using. Raticate I've always loved, but I've never really used it, so I kind of just want to show a bit of Raticate love. And this is the Cantonian one, not the Alolan one. But he's cool. He's nice. I like Raticate. I think people forget how much of a great design Raticate is and how just it's just so cool. I think I'm going to use that one, but I think Meowth's got to be the one I'm going to go for because I didn't like Meowth nearly as much until I started this podcast and the whole payday concept, and now I love Meowth. He's so cool. I think Meowth is one of he's the perfect mascot for this podcast, for payday, for everything, and I think it would be a disservice to this podcast now not to run a Meowth on my team. So let's just assume that so far my team is looking at Eevee, Meowth, and a Sunglasses Squirtle. So I'm just going to cement that one in because Meowth is in Let's Go Eevee. So I'm definitely going to be using it. Moving on to flying, we've got Fearow, Golbat, Dodrio, and Dragonite. So I said already about Fearow. I think Fearow is a really cool Pokemon. He's probably the top of my list at the moment for Pokemon to use in this game. I think he'll be really good. He's got an alright move pool, I think. I'm just going to quickly check it out. You'll hear all the sound effects as I go on them. Ooh. Okay, so let's see what he gets. He gets Drill Run, which is really good. Aerial Ace. You get Roost, Drill Peck. See, there are some decent moves. I don't know how egg moves are going to work or tutor moves. There must be some trainers around that teach you moves, or there must be ways of learning these moves without having to breed for them, or something. But he can learn Heat Wave, which is incredible. Throat Chop. How do you chop with a wing? Tailwind. There's some great moves. So he'd be a really good support and cover Pokemon. But going off that, Golbat would be really cool because he's cool again, a bit like a Seadra situation. He just kind of got forgotten about in Gen 2 when they evolved it into Crobat. And it's such a shame because Golbat's such a cool design Pokemon, and he's got some decent moves as well. You've got Air Slash, you've got Venoshock, you've got Leech Life, Poison Fang, Confuse Ray would be really cool. Who knows, Brave Bird, Giga Drain, Hypnosis, Nasty Plot, Zen Headbutt. There's like an endless amount of decent moves here you could use on this Pokemon, and his stats aren't incredible, but we've already seen that possibly stats can be overclocked from what they are in the old games as well, because we saw that. I don't know if it was going to be, just an accident, but there was that Master Trainers thing where the level 75 Charizard had more HP than a normal Charizard would, and that's pretty exciting news because it means that the game might be a little more open than we once thought, and they might be changing how Pokemon stats are increased and how, their max stats, you can overclock them now, and maybe Pokemon can be stronger than ever, so Sunglasses, Squirtle, Meowth, and Eevee have a chance to actually shine out there, and they're not going to be overshadowed by their evolved forms like Persian and Blastoise and any of the evolutions for that fact. Moving on to grass types, and I love grass types, and these three Pokemon are going to be really hard to pick between, but the three I picked are Parasect, Victreebel, and Alolan Exeggutor. I think Alolan Exeggutor is the bottom of that list because I just kind of hope that you can ride around on him. If you can't ride around on Alolan Exeggutor, then I'm probably not going to bother putting him on my team, but I think it'd be cool anyway just to have you following around because he's so big. I think it'd be quite funny. I'm definitely going to try it out and just see what he looks like, but whether I use him or not, we'll see. I think the top of my list right now is Parasect because Parasect is quite weak. It's quad weak to fire, it's quad weak to flying, but it just shines in so many ways. I used it in a Gen 1 Nuzlocke, and I did so well with it. That Spore that I think he only gets as well in that game just makes him so good. Because being able to, have 100% accuracy, I think it's 100% accuracy. Let's check it out a sec. Where is Spore? Yeah, it's 100% accuracy for sleep. That's amazing. So you can put him to sleep. And you could just set up, you can growth, you can use Giga Drain, there's X Scissor. What other moves have we got? We've got egg moves here, we've got Bug Bite, we've got Cross Poison, we've got Leech Seed, Pursuit, Seed Bomb, Synthesis. This Pokemon's going to be amazing. As long as you don't put him up against any Fire type or Flying type moves, Parasect's going to really shine. I've got a feeling, he's great. I'm definitely going to go with Parasect. But I do love a Victreebel as well, I think, at the beginning of the game, because I've seen that Oddish is available in Route 1 at the moment. So I'm assuming in the counterpart, Let's Go Eevee, you're going to be able to get Bellsprout early. So I'm definitely going to get Bellsprout first, and then I'm going to evolve that into a Victreebel. But when I get a Paras and I need to switch out my team, Victreebel is probably going to go first, and I'm going to keep Parasect for the most part. But, I want to stress that all these are just sort of ideas at the moment. Who knows what's going to happen? There could be some news that drops that changes everything. But at the moment, this is just kind of like a wish list of Pokemon that I want to use on my team. So moving on to fighting type, we've got Primeape, Hitmonlee, and Hitmonchan. Primeape's cool. I've never used a Mankey or a Primeape, and I don't know why. It's just always passed me by. I think when I play Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow, I always go for Nidoran, and I just don't bother with Mankey. And I do fine without him. Maybe I should make it up to Mankey and get a Primeape on this game. But also, I always go for Hitmonlee, and I love Hitmonlee, and Hitmonlee is such a cool design, and I think it's a really great Pokemon. Which means I also neglect Hitmonchan a hell of a lot. And I'm starting to really enjoy Hitmonchan's design. I like how it looks, and it's the first time in 20 years that I've been playing these games that I've ever started liking Hitmonchan. So maybe I'm going to try Hitmonchan. There's definitely worse Pokemon to go for. He gets good coverage, you get Ice Punch, Fire Punch, Thunder Punch. Who knows what else? I'm going to quickly take a look at what other moves you can get on a Hitmonchan. Because, it's such a cool design, really. I don't know why I never liked it. It's just a boxer, but I just never gave it a good chance. You can get Focus Punch, Close Combat, Mach Punch, Bullet Punch, Fire Punch, Thunder Punch, Ice Punch, Sky Uppercut, Mega Punch. It's just a lot of punches, and he hits hard. And I think it'd be really cool. You get High Jump Kick just for the lols. Drain Punch would be good because you get that recovery as well. Yeah, there's just a lot of choices with a Hitmonchan, so I think Hitmonchan goes to the top of my list at the moment of fighting type Pokemon. So electric Pokemon, I've got Alolan Golem, Raichu, and Alolan Raichu. So I've used Raichu plenty of times in the past, and I think I never used Alolan Raichu, because in my Moon playthrough I just kept it as a Pikachu instead of evolving it. So I've really neglected Alolan Raichu, and I think its design is fantastic as well. I love the surfer, riding around on the surfboard. I love how it's a psychic type, and I didn't think I'd like it nearly as much as I did when it first got released about 2 years ago. but here we are. I love it. So yeah, I really like Alolan Golem. I didn't realize until Pokemon Go that it shoots electric rocks out of its back. I could never tell in the animation because I never used one before in Sun and Moon, but that's so cool. I never saw that when I looked at him before, so he seems like a decent Pokemon as well. I'm going to quickly check out Alolan Golem. And yeah, that little, I mean, I remember the two rocks with like the little yellow dots down the middle in the inside, but then I didn't think that rock was launchable. I just thought it shot electricity out of there, but it shoots electric rocks, which is so cool. So what else can you use with Alolan Golem? It's got Steamroller, it's got Thunder Punch, Self-Destruct would be cool, Stealth Rocks is good, Explosion's even better than Self-Destruct. I think Explosion would be really cool. Just as like a suicide lead, you could just blow up when things get hairy and knock it down. It's got Stone Edge, obviously, pretty decent. What else do you have? I don't see a lot of electric moves on you, to be honest. It really doesn't get very good electric moves, does it? Hopefully they change that, because at the moment, now I'm reading this, I think Alolan Raichu is going to be the one for me. I like that Psychic type on it too. So we're going to say Alolan Raichu. Moving on to Fire types, though, we've got Ninetales and Magmar. Two Pokemon I've really sort of neglected over the years as well, and I like Ninetales. I really hope you can ride a Ninetales. I didn't even mention that before, because you can ride around on Arcanine. I don't know. I think Ninetales is quite a lot smaller though, but I think it looks so great just to ride around on Ninetales everywhere you go. I really like it. I don't know what its moveset is like. I feel like it's quite limited. I know it gets Will-O-Wisp, which is pretty good. Let's have a look. So its stats aren't that great. It's got good speed and it's got good special defense, but that's about it. But who knows what that means anymore. You can give Flamethrower, Confuse Ray, Nasty Plot, Extra Sensory is good, Heat Wave, Hex, Hypnosis. It's not bad actually, it's not a bad Pokemon. Iron Tail, Pain Split, Snore, Zen Headbutt. It's not terrible, but we'll see. Magmar, I've never used Magmar either, again, neglected it a bit. Maybe I owe it to some of these forgotten about Kanto Pokemon just to give them another shot. So who knows at this point. I don't really want to use Charizard because I don't really want to use the starter Pokemon to be honest. Maybe I'll use a Bulbasaur at the beginning because I've seen you can get them in Viridian Forest. But even then I'd rather use Bellsprout. So we'll see what happens with that. But at the moment I'm not too fussed about using those Pokemon. So poison types. Let's see what we got here. We got Arbok, Nidoqueen, Muck and Weezing. So Nidoqueen is a Pokemon that's always had a special place in my heart. I used Nidoqueen in one of my first ever playthroughs of Pokemon Yellow, and I don't think it was my first playthrough, but I think I started again. I was really young, and I got a Nidoran female, and I evolved it all the way up to a Nidoqueen, and that thing was a monster. It just destroyed everything. And I remember I stopped using Pikachu, and I just started using Nidoqueen, and I think I did that little kid thing of just playing through the whole game with one Pokemon, and I did really well just using Nidoqueen. So, I mean, it would be a nice little throwback to use that, but I'm not using Pikachu, so maybe I'll wait until I play Let's Go Pikachu to use Nidoqueen, and I'll just kind of go for a nostalgia run, and we'll use Nidoqueen, and I'll use Pikachu again, and it'd be really cool. Arbok and Weezing would be really cool, but I'm debating whether or not I want to use those because of Jesse and James. Maybe once the post game's over with, I might go with one of them, but they're both really cool. I really like Weezing. I like how it uses Explosion as well, like I did with Alolan Golem. And Arbok's just a really cool design Pokemon. I think it would look really great just sort of slinking along behind you. And Muck is really cool. I recently caught a shiny Grimer in Pokemon Go, so having a shiny Muck on my team would be a really cool little addition. I'm not sure. I'm not going to use a Alolan Muck. I don't think I like the rainbow design on it, but yeah, that shiny Muck is really cool. I'm not sure what the moveset's even like for Muck, but I don't feel like it's anything fantastic. Let's have a look. It's got really good attack. It's got really good HP. It's got really good special defense. In a lot of ways, it's a great Pokemon. But let's see how we can utilize that attack. We've got Gunk Shot is really good, 120 base damage for 80 accuracy. It's not too bad at all. What else do we get? Power Up Punch, you can increase that attack. Shadow Punch, Shadow Sneak, very good. I like Shadow Sneak. Fire Punch, Focus Punch, Ice Punch, Thunder Punch. Oh, I like Muck already. Okay, if I can get some of these tutor moves on there, I'm going to be running Muck for sure. I'll run a Muck. Ooh. God, that was a terrible pun. Okay, moving on. Ground types, Dugtrio and Onix. Again, Onix just be cool to ride around on, but I'm not sure if I'm really going to use it. Dugtrio is insanely fast, and I like how fast Dugtrio is. That kind of makes me want to use it. I'm not sure about Alolan Dugtrio. I like the steel type on it, but I'm not sure. I haven't really looked into these two enough, so I don't really want to put myself too much on the spot, but he's not bad. Dugtrio is quite limited with the moves he gets. It's a lot of ground type moves. There's a Night Slash, but I'm not seeing anything crazy, so maybe his move pool's a bit weak. In fact, it's very weak. I'm not really sure if I like Dugtrio. What about Alola Dugtrio? Let's have a quick look. So the steel type's cool. He gets Metal Claw and Iron Head, but to be honest, even there I'm not seeing a lot of difference. So it's quite a shame. I mean, it could have been something better than it is, but maybe I'll skip both of those altogether. Who knows? We'll see. I mean, Dugtrio is a really cool Pokemon design, so I might just go with it anyway, because it's going to be an easy game, I imagine, and you can just use your favourites. Like, I'm not really bothered about evolving them or anything, but Dugtrio would be kind of cool. So moving on to Dark types, I've got Alolan Meowth and Alolan Raticate. So, like I said about Meowth before with the podcast, I think it'd be a disservice not to use Meowth. I'm not going to use both, and kind of unofficially in my head, I've assigned one of each Meowth to myself and Matt, and I've always seen myself as the Kanto Meowth and Matt as the Alolan Meowth. So really, Alolan Meowth isn't something necessary for my team, but it'd be quite funny just to do. Maybe when we play 2-player together, I'll put one on my team and we can both run around in the overworld with our Meowths, and that would just be really funny to see. We're definitely planning on doing a stream at some point like that, so that would be a really cool stream just to do when we maybe shiny hunt or something. But we'll see. Alolan Raticate, again, I love Raticate, and Alolan Raticate is really cool, but I'm not that interested in using Alolan Raticate, to be honest. I think it's a cool Pokemon, but if I had to pick between Kanto Raticate and Alolan Raticate, it's going to be like the Meowth. I'm going to go for the Kanto version. So, moving on to Fairy, we've got Alolan Ninetales, and we've got Mr. Mime. I've loved Alolan Ninetales for a long time, ever since it got announced. I think I prefer the design way more than I like a Kanto Ninetales, so Alolan Ninetales is just super cool. I ran one in my first ever playthrough of Pokemon Sun, and it was really good, and I liked Aurora Veil and moves like that. I think it was Aurora Veil that it's called. Let me just quickly check. But it's a cool Pokemon. It looks amazing. I've got one in Pokemon Go. Yep, it was Aurora Veil. I'm just being stupid. Yeah, I really like Aurora Veil, and I like how it works with Hail. So that might be a good option to use at some point, but I just like the Pokemon. I like Ice types a lot as well. I'm really gutted that I can't use something like a Sneasel or a Weavile, because those two are becoming fast favourites of mine as well. But Alolan Ninetales are really great. Mr. Mime is kind of cool. I used one in a Pokemon Yellow playthrough I did last year, and it did really well, and I really enjoyed using it. But whether or not I'm going to use it now, I find it a creepy Pokemon. I'm just not sure if I like it enough to want to use it again. So we'll just have to revisit that when we get around to it. But moving on to Ghost types, I'm definitely going to have a Ghost type on my team because it's probably my favourite type now. I love Ghost types. I like Grass types. Anyone that listened to episode 1 of our normal series will know that. We were both, Matt and I, gushing about these Pokemon. But I can't decide between Gengar and Alolan Marowak, to be honest with you guys. You see, I love Gengar, and Gengar is one of my favourite Pokemon, but I don't want to copy Matt and have the same Pokemon as him because we're very similar people. We'll end up with quite similar teams, and I want us to both have different teams. And as much as I love Gengar, maybe I will go with Alolan Marowak just to kind of have a bit of variation in our teams. It all depends if I can get a shiny Gengar, to be honest. It's going to be shiny Gengars, guys, in raids. I'm going to try and get one. I'm really going to try, but we'll see what happens. You know, Alolan Marowak is cool in its own right as well. I've got one in Pokemon Go. I like how I like its fire typing. I like how strong it is. I like how it looks. And I think it'll look really cool following you around as well. So it might be a really cool little thing that kind of sets myself and Matt apart, is that one of us can have a Gengar and one can have an Alolan Marowak. And it's a cool ghost type Pokemon that I haven't really used yet. So I'll have a lot of fun just experimenting with that Pokemon. So I think Alolan Marowak is the top of my list at the moment. So moving on to Psychic types, we've got Jinx and Mew. So I've never used a Jinx before. I find it a weird Pokemon, but I like Ice types, so I'm kind of leaning on that as well. Jinx might be cool, might be worth using. I'm going to try it, I think. But also Mew. Mew, guys, I know it's really OP, it's really strong. It's a good Pokemon, it can learn any move. But it throws me back to when I was a kid. I remember getting a cheat cartridge when I was about 8 years old. And using it to get myself a Mew, and I leveled that thing up to level 100, and I absolutely loved Mew. So I think it would just be a disservice to my childhood not to use one. But then now I'm saying this, I'm thinking about what I just said earlier about Nidoqueen and about Pikachu. Maybe Mew is better served on my Let's Go Pikachu team than it is on my Let's Go Eevee team. So I'm gonna knock Mew off this list, and I'm just gonna keep Jinx there. So Jinx is my number 1 Psychic type Pokemon to use in Let's Go Eevee. And finally, Steel types, we have Meltan and we have Melmetal. So Meltan and Melmetal, they're both really cool. I looked at, apparently Meltan's stats are 100 across the board, like Mew, for example, or like a general mythical Pokemon. So and I love the design. I think it's really cute. I think it's small. I like it. So it might be nice to have a Meltan on my team, but Melmetal looks so cool. It's like 8 feet tall, 8 feet. It's huge. So a Melmetal would be really cool. I like the design of it as well. So I haven't decided. But I like that Steel type because I'm not so sure if I want to use a Magneton. So I think that's basically the only Steel type that is in the game other than Alolan Dugtrio. Oh, there's Alolan Sandslash. I forgot they were Steel type. That changes things. Okay, right, so Meltan, Melmetal, Alolan Sandslash. Right, they're the top 3 Pokemon, but I can't decide yet, so we're gonna have to wait and see. I don't want to crowd my team with legendaries, because Articuno would be cool, Meltan or Melmetal would be cool, Mew would be cool. So actually, Alolan Sandslash might be there. It might be the one I use. We'll see. We'll get there. So let's just run down the list again. I'll quickly tell you my hopes, my fantasy Pokemon type team. And then we'll try and narrow that down, I think, to 6. But I don't want to strictly follow that 6 when I play the game. So it's just kind of a bit of fun. So we got Eevee, we got Sunglasses Squirtle, or failing that, we got Seadra. We've got Meowth. We've got Fearow, Parasect, Hitmonchan, Alolan Raichu. Neither Ninetales or Magmar, we scrap both of those. We've got Muck, neither Dugtrio or Onix. We've got Alolan Raticate, did I say? No, I'm going to scrap the dark types as well. We've got Alolan Ninetales, Alolan Marowak, we've got Jinx, and we've got, let's say, Meltan for now. So that's still more than 6. Okay, let's just go with the 3 that I'm definitely going for. We've got Eevee, Sunglasses Squirtle, we've got Meowth. After that, I'm not going to use Fearow because he's got the normal type. That would be 3 normal type Pokemon on my team. I don't need that many. Going for Parasect because I love Parasect. Going for Hitmonchan, sure, why not? Okay, how many am I on now? Is that 5? Ooh, okay, I've only got space for 1 more Pokemon. It's got to be a load of Marowak. There, you see, I can't make this decision. I'm not going to do it now. I'm not going to do it. That's it. I'm done. But that is pretty cool. I mean, there are some amazing Pokemon. There's some great type combinations. And like I said, I'm not that interested in going for the strongest or the best or any sort of competitive thing. I probably will at some point because I'm going to want to play with people. But just for fun, I've got a nice little fantasy team going on in my head. And it's going to be great just experimenting with these Pokemon and seeing what is good and what is bad. And what ones I prefer using. I might start off and hate using Eevee, and who knows? I can't see it happening, but never say never. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover in this episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I want to just stress again that this might not be every month. We might not get a 2-week hurdle every month, but I've got a few lined up. I've got some guests in mind that I want to bring on and I want to talk to. I want to talk with for you guys to hear about anything that they want to talk about. Sometimes it'll be a spotlight Pokemon, sometimes it could be a spotlight trainer, sometimes we could just be chatting about anything at all. We might just have general chats about nothing. Maybe Matt will be on each one, maybe he won't, but it's just kind of fun. It's a nice idea just to sit down with a microphone and just talk about things that I want to talk about. A non-serious way. There's no formula. I think the main show is going to have a bit more of a formula next time, and we're going to make it a bit more structured because I think there were some flaws with doing it the way we did. I liked how it was kind of a casual and a non-serious chat, but maybe we need to look at making it a bit more inclusive for people that haven't or don't know us, So again, my name's Tom. My friend is Matt. We're really excited to do this podcast. We hope that you guys are enjoying as well. I'd love it if you could get in touch with us at PokemonPayday@gmail.com. We're on Twitter at PokemonPayday as well, and you can find us on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, pretty much all of them. I'm pretty sure I've covered most of them. If there isn't, let me know where you listen to your podcast, and I'll see if I can get it on there as well. I think living in the UK, I can't get Google Podcasts, which really sucks. I can't believe Google haven't brought podcasts to the UK yet. So, we'll see. But thanks so much for listening, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Reach out to me. Let me know what your Pokemon teams are as well. And Catch you later, guys. See you in 2 weeks when we actually have money again and we can actually spend money. And oh, it's going to be so great. I can't wait.